Thank you for joining us this edition. I'm your host, Rex Bear. How would you like to know the forbidden timeline of mankind and our real mysterious origins? Let's go back 3.5 billion years. Why not? Might as well. Matthew LaCroix has put the records, the data, the research together in chronological order. Now, Matthew, he's been on the show a few times previously. He wrote a book called The Illusion of Us. The first time I had a chance to speak with him, it was in regards to that specific book. Great book. He's actually updated it since then as well. And he's working on a new one right now. What we're going to talk about is, okay, so let's say we go back 3.5 billion years. Some people feel that we were just pieces of bacteria back then, bouncing back and forth, self-replicating, mutating, etc. Some people think that the Earth is only 6,000 years old. Some people think, well, I'm not even going to get into that. Matthew, thank you for joining us here at the Leak Project. How the heck are you?
Hey, Rex. It's great to be back. I always love coming on here to talk with you.
Right on, man. I love your shows. I like the slides you put together. You do it in a very fluid manner. And just to give the audience a quick idea, why don't you give a quick, maybe 2-3 minute breakdown on what the show is going to be about, and then we'll start getting into the slides. But if you could, just give a quick description and we'll go from there.
Okay, great. So when I was kind of doing some writing in the next book I was doing, which is about timelines, I realized that I hadn't really done an accurate representation of the entire kind of story of humanity. And I called this particular show the Epic of Humanity, because we really have an incredible history that has preceded us right now, and most people are only aware of small parts of it. They're not aware of the fantasticness of kind of where we come from and who we really are. And a lot of people, when they do hear some truth, they will immediately reject it because they don't have any kind of evidence or facts to kind of base it on, to then look at it and say, aha, that makes sense. That's kind of where things fall in. And I think one of the problems with people putting together an accurate representation of our timeline and where certain events fall in with both history and how we've gotten to where we are now is because they don't know where they place. We kind of throw all these things out all the time on oh, this is this age and this is this age. And nobody's really sure because they don't kind of come together in like a harmony of this evidence is objectively pointing to this. So I want to accurately put the numbers based on what so many minds have kind of come to an understanding looking at our oldest records, not things that we can look at direct, maybe drawings of something and misinterpret, but looking at hard facts, stories that were written that tell us exactly where we came from, carried back thousands of years.
So you're using multiple stories, multiple cultures, timelines, etc., connecting those dots, and then you've got fossil records, and then you said you were also going to bring information from various extraterrestrial beings that have kind of helped sculpt the modern consciousness currently.
Exactly. It's so difficult to understand our entire story unless you can understand all the pieces that fall in place. So let's try to put this all into a chronological order where we can understand why things maybe are the way they are now and kind of how we got here based on our past. Because you truly can't, if you can't learn from the mistakes of the past, you'll always be destined to repeat them. And so let's make sure we don't repeat some of these big mistakes that have occurred in our past. There's a great secret that's been kept from humanity for thousands of years about the truth of our past. And it's been hidden in layers of misinformation, control, and the sheer complexity of just how big the truth is. And so let's try to break it up into pieces and try to put them in an order that makes sense. And so to start by doing that, we have to realize that the truth is very, very difficult to understand unless you can go look yourself objectively. So anything we go over right now, you have to go look and go say, okay, I'm going to look at the evidence and say, does this make sense to me? Rather than just listening to, what I say. And I appreciate that. I really hope people do that. And I get a lot of great comments where people, if I make a little mistake, people will call me on it. And I can't emphasize enough how much I love that. Because to me, the truth is all that matters.
I got to jump in on that real quick. It's one thing that I absolutely love about the people that listen to Leak Project is what you just said. If there is a mistake made, they will let you know about it. Just a few days ago, I got so excited because I discovered this tablet that showed a nuclear bomb in a mushroom cloud. And I'm like, okay, this is from King Nebuchadnezzar's time. This is incredible. This absolutely confirms a lot of the other scriptures and parallels that have been put together, dots connected. And then come to find out that it was probably just put together by this jeweler to make it look fancy to sell more jewelry. Hey, that's cool. He's doing a great job, great marketing ploy. But I did this podcast, and then there was about maybe 2 or 3 people that said, hey, I think that, this is actually an artist's design. Look into it more. And man, I'll tell you what, the next day, sure enough, I ate crow. I took that video down and said, yes, that was not a legit scroll. That was actually fabricated. And they'll let you know about it, man.
Well, that's
that's
good. Well, that's good though, because it means you have listeners that are objectively questioning what's being said, and they're looking for the truth. And you know what? That's exactly all we're trying to do together. Exactly. As a collective, we're all trying to find out what the truth is, because it's been so hidden and so suppressed and so destroyed in so many areas. So let's figure this out, And so I